Good evening to all. We'll discuss normal probability curve is the fundamental concept and graphical represents the distribution of frequencies or probabilities of a variable and shows the likelihood of different outcomes. So the characteristics or properties of normal probability curve. So probability curve is a bell-shaped and symmetrical curve. So how it appears? It appears like this. So this is bell shaped and with a symmetrical distribution of data. So we used to call it as normal probability curve or bell shaped curve or symmetrical curve. So where mean, median, mode are equal, the probability curve where mean, median, mode all are equal. Unimodal. So the curve has only one peak. See here, the curve is having only one peak, and total area under the curve is equal to 1, which is nothing but our 100% of data distribution. So it is having asymptotic tails. So the tails approach horizontal axis but never touches and extend infinitely. See here the normal distribution curve which is not touching the baseline, and which is it is like infinitely extends. The tail will extend infinitely. So next we'll discuss about determined by mean and standard deviation. So our standard deviation, our normal probability curve is determined by mean and standard deviation. In fact, inflection points, the curve changes its distribution of bending at plus or minus 1 standard deviation from the mean. So this is our mean. So this is our plus 1 standard deviation. This is minus 1 standard deviation. So the curve which is like it is deviated literally. So these deviation points we used to call it as plus or minus plus 1. It may be plus 1, it may be 2, like that. So fixed areas under the curve, so which is used to call it as 68, 95, 99.7 empirical rule. 9.7 empirical rule. So this 68.26 percent of observation within plus or minus 1 SD. So the area under plus or 1 SD is about 68%. So similarly in plus or minus 2 standard deviation, the area under this is 95%. Like that only within 3 SD. So the it is area about 99.74%. So the normal probability curve is continuous distribution and there is no gap between observations. So the normal distribution curve is a continuous and there is no gap between the observations or the data. So normal distribution curve is zero skewed because of its normal continuous distribution. So we need to know that what is zero skewed means. So we have three kinds of graphs here. The highest peak one we used to call it as leptocritic, and the lowest one we used to call it as planticritic, which is nothing but a flat one, and peak one. The middlemost is nothing but our mesocritic, which is nothing but zero skewed scale or zero skewed graph, which is our normal probability one. So next we'll move on towards the standard normal probability curve with mean of 0 under z-score. So the normal probability curve or z-score curve is also called or represented by the z. So the standard normal probability curve with the mean 0 used to call it as z-score, and normal probability curve is also called as z-score curve and is represented by z. Thank you.